Hi guys, just checking in. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hope you had a fabulous weekend and that the snow is not impeding too much on your day. I don't have too much in the way of announcements this morning. Our next event is going to be the movie night at the end of the month on January 30th. But this week, Pastor Marlene Croker is going to be bringing us the message. She comes from Everence, one of the church's stewardship resources. And of course, we have our Sunday evening prayer time from 6 to 6:30. But make sure to listen for the announcements as to whether or not that will be in person or from our homes this week. We have a special treat for you today. Last week, our Paper and Hygiene Products Pantry was open, so I'd like to take a few minutes to give you some insights about how that ministry started, what that ministry is all about, and how you can help support it. Believe it or not, our pantry has been open for almost 3 years already. It was started in July 2017. For the first few years, we averaged about 30 to 40 patrons per week, and now it's grown to about 50 to 60. We mostly serve the Osceola and the Mishawaka area, although we do get patrons all the way from South Bend and some in Elkhart. What our patrons can find in each bag is a container of laundry soap, dish soap, toilet paper, paper towels, and shampoo. There's an alternated seventh item then that goes between Windex type cleaners or toilet bowl cleaner, deodorant, toothpaste, and bar soap. If you've ever volunteered or you'd like to volunteer, what you can expect is a really big rush for about the first 15 to 20 minutes. They see the majority of their patrons run through at that time. And right now, that's mostly handling the pre-filled bags and taking them outside, passing them out to each car, one bag per family per car. If there are multiple families in the cars, then they get multiple bags. And if anybody needs anything for a shut-in, then they have to leave the line and come back at a later time. We've also changed the way that we do the prayer station. Since we're in the colder winter months and it's harder for people to stop in the bitter cold, we've brought the prayer inside. One of the first things that happens when people show up is that Jeff walks around and hands out prayer cards. When they get up to the door to receive those items, they hand back the prayer cards, and we have a team inside of prayer warriors praying on the spot for those needs. We've collected those cards to continue praying for them during the week now. That's been very helpful. If you'd like to show up to be a helping hand, to run bags out there, to pre-fill bags, or to sit at the prayer station with the rest of us, just show up about a half an hour early on the nights that the pantry is open. Or let Jeff or Denise know that you're coming. We'll make sure we have a specific duty for you. I asked a few questions of a few of our volunteers last time, so take a look at some of their responses about what it means to them to serve this ministry. So, what do you enjoy most about coming and serving in the Paper and Hygiene Products Pantry?
I enjoy the people the most, I think. Being with the people.
Clearly, I think the people really appreciate it, and it's something that we can do with the community that is needed, and they understand that as well. So I see it's a blessing on the community, and then it's a blessing to us to be able to give.
I enjoy it. I get to see a lot of different people, and it makes you feel good giving out to somebody. And there's a lot of people that's in a lot of need out there. It's quite a blessing for you and for them, especially them. It's nice to see some smiling faces.
And how does it feel when you're able to give back to the community like this with your service?
Rather than being prideful about it, we recognize that this was a need. Really wasn't met by any other government program, and it had to be met by a private program, because if you go to the food bank, you're not going to get these items, hygiene items, and the paper products are just not in great supply, and you can't buy these with your SNAP card or your food stamps. It was pretty much that was the catalyst for even starting this. This was a need that wasn't being really met anywhere, and we knew it firsthand because the people that were close to us, we found out they couldn't get these things.
I like to have it more personal, but it's a good time. It's good to have a great group here. We can get it done pretty quick, and it's encouraging to see everybody that's coming.
It feels good to give, and I think we all know that, and you get a good feeling. So sometimes we might get more out of it than they get out of it. Actually, I wonder that. Donating, giving, helping, all feels good.
Do you feel especially connected to the patrons who utilize our services?
We've made some real friends since this has been going on, especially she's been coming for the whole time, and she in her early in her life, she suffered strokes. She always greets me with a honey. You don't hug because you can't hug today in today's world. And then when they leave, it's always I love you. And she comes with her mother, and her they are especially dear. And there's several. I shouldn't name names. There are several that have been coming for so long that we recognize.
Yeah, we have made a lot of friends. They know us by name. We know them by name. And we actually miss the opportunity to sit with them inside and talk to them, especially Denise, who loves to talk to these folks as they come in. Yeah, although they haven't joined us in our services yet, but we know that we're doing the right thing by providing this to them, and we really enjoy the fact that they now feel like they're almost part of our family.
Anything particularly memorable or anything you realized about service work because of this ministry?
Ooh.
It's quite rewarding. I don't know. It's kind of hard to put a finger on it, but I think the blessing you get back is more than what you give out. Basically, even though you're giving something out, you're still receiving something back twofold.
Memorable would be again with. And that's the time they were coming inside, and it was so cold, and she walked so slowly in the cold, and when she came in, she was so freezing because her jacket was open, and I went to her and she just hugged. You just realize there's that again, that human connection, and then when she left, I bundled her up and made sure she was totally zipped and tucked in, and then walked her out. It was a really bad, really cold day. I think we've been surprised that when we changed to drive-through was because of the pandemic. And I think we are surprised at how well it's working and in fact expanding. I think it's more visible to other people, and it has expanded kind of on itself. And it makes me happy. I think we didn't know that. We did this for a couple of years with having people come inside. And so, and actually the pandemic changed it for us. So
I think initially we thought service to the community would bring in people to join us in that service. But what I've found out is that we're here to bless the community, and we shouldn't expect anything other than maybe a thank you in return. And we have been blessed in a number of ways, with people bringing stuff to us and donating themselves to the pantry, in addition to the guy who brought all the money and handed that out. That was maybe one of the main reasons, who knows, why God chose to do this with us, in order to have that miracle happen. So a lot of things have changed over time with the pantry. Obviously, moving it outside has been that, and has grown quite a bit. We only had 5 people the first night, and we made some changes to it. We started praying more with both inside and outside, and when we added the prayer station, we just thought it added so much more to the blessing of all the folks that came to be able to stop and to pray. It was a great suggestion. I'm glad we were able to do it, and I think people really appreciate it too.
I think the pantry ministry changed for me when we started the prayer station, when I got to pray one-on-one with the individuals. A lot changed in myself, in my faith. And one powerful thing I noticed that Beezy was doing when he was still here is that he was asking the people to pray for us. What a blessing it is to know that our patrons are not only being blessed by what we have to give them, but that they are returning that blessing, praying for us, for you, for me, for this ministry and for this church. There are others out there who care about us and who think about us, and that's a wonderful gift from God. The Paper Pantry appreciates all forms of support. We know some like to bring product and others like to donate cash. But on top of the physical donations that the pantry receives, they still spend about $300 a month. So financial support is definitely needed. Every dollar goes to product, and every product goes out the door. I asked Jeff if he had any other thoughts that he didn't include when he was sharing, and he said, it just goes to show what a small church can do and what would be missed if we weren't here. And that's all I have for this week. I hope you stay warm, stay safe, and feel blessed. And I'll see you on the next one.